Sure seems early this morning, even though it's only 6:15. But here we go. Got a big climb to do. It's going to be bright, probably 45 minutes, so I better move it. There's train tracks, and here comes a train. So, getting across and getting up here. That train track was so close last night. I had no idea how close it was, but boy, it was made my tent rattle, that's for sure. And I heard that a few times too. Oh, another register to fill out. Alright. Well, I'm way up here. And maybe another hour before I get to the very top. A lot going on. Boy, I see some trail over there. I don't know if that's me eventually. I don't think so. Anyway, you see that little town down there? It's Rogers Flat. I will not be getting anywhere near there. So that's why I think that trail is probably not where I'm going to be. It's probably a road anyway. But yeah, nice view up here. Actually, I was on the other side of the mountain, I don't know, 30 minutes ago. I was in the sun. Yeah, it was getting pretty hot, but now that I've come to this side, it's actually a bit chilly. I gotta keep moving to stay warm, which is a godsend. So I'll make the most out of it. It just kind of dawned on me that my time in Belden town, that was my last resupply before I complete the PCT. So yeah, my next stop will be Sierra City Highway, the end. It's kind of weird to think of. I have to tell you though, that place, that big store and restaurant, whatever you want to call it, those are the most hospitable people. Really super nice, welcoming and hopeful and all that. But their resupply was horrible. I mean, they didn't have very many options to begin with, and then they were out of almost everything. The lady that runs the store said they need to restock on Tuesday, and I was in there on Saturday. So anyway, you know, usually I end up trying to have like, some kind of, decent meat for breakfast as a protein. Some sausage or beef jerky or something. They didn't have anything really. They had 2 sausage sticks, little ones, like a 1 ounce, barely a serving, were like $4 each, and that was it, nothing else. So I ended up just getting a jar of peanut butter, and so my breakfast today and for the coming days are going to be Pop-Tarts and a couple of spoonfuls of peanut butter. And they didn't even have enough Pop-Tarts. They had 1 box of Pop-Tarts, so I got 1 box. Lunch, I usually have, some kind of decent crackers or something, and again, some meat, maybe a packet of tuna or chicken or something. They had only a couple of packets of tuna in there, so that jar of peanut butter is going to be my lunch also. They had crackers, so I'm going to have some crackers and peanut butter for lunch. And then for dinner, they did have ramen, which is not great, but it's, it's good enough. And then just enough packets of tuna plus one that I had left over. So I'll have just enough to have my dinners be ramen and tuna. And then through the days, about every hour I'm eating some kind of protein bar or some kind of thing like that. And once in a while, I'll throw something in there like a package of peanut butter crackers or something for one of those hours. But they had virtually nothing like that. So I bought like 20 packages of peanut butter crackers. And then I had to, because that's all they had. I mean, they had 20, I bought 20. And then they had some packets of Nutter Butter cookies. So I bought, I think, 7 of those. And, I can't think, but it's just junk like that, So that's what I'm going to be eating every day. So that's what I've been eating so far today. I feel all right after a couple hours, but after 2 or 3 days of eating cookies and peanut butter crackers, I don't know whether I'll be having the stamina I need. We'll find out. Is that just weird or what? I've been hearing bells up here. Look, got a little calf back there too. Saw that around Etna too. I don't think I said anything about that in the video already, but the shuttle driver took me back to the trail in Etna. Told me that the farmers just bring their cows up the highway to the mountains and let them go. They just eat away, and it's kind of good for keeping the vegetation down. It's free for the farmers or whatever. I don't understand it, but anyway, I'm assuming they're doing the same thing here. That looks like the perfect spot for lunch. Something to lean against, relatively clean ground, and lots of shade. All right, I'm hungry. All right, leaving the Bucks Lake Wilderness. So way back, we were hiking north and we hadn't had any problems yet, and got into Sierra City and all of a sudden found out there was a fire closure north of us. This, right here at Bucks Lake, is where the fire closure was. So when we get up here to this highway, you might be able to hear the cars in the background. Oh, right there. So that highway, if you go that way, you get to Bucks Lake, which is just kind of, I think, a campground and little resort area or something. And if you go that way, you get to Quincy, where you can go into resupply. And we, at that point in time, said, well, actually, they had already been evacuating people from Quincy, from part of Quincy. And so it was like, well, you don't really want to be hiking north from Sierra City into this, because at that point in time, it seemed like the only way out was to go through Bucks Lake, and that was just if the fire didn't spread, So you might hike north and find out you can't get out. So anyway, some people chose to do that, and it worked out fine for them. We chose not to take that chance. So we left the Sierra City area and went all the way north to Ashland, Oregon. And that's a whole section that I've been now patching together here, coming down. So what that means is, as I come up to this highway, I am now walking out of the last fire closure that I had to complete. And I'm done. I did the fire closures. But there's this section from this highway right here, south to the Sierra City highway, which was never actually closed, but which we chose not to hike for the reason I just explained. So Anyway, this is the Bucks Lake Wilderness area, and that's pretty cool. Map of the Pacific Crest Trail, all the detail and everything. Oh, I'd love to have a copy of that thing. All the stuff on it. I guess I do now. You may not really care about all this detail and want to see all of it, but I'm definitely going to look back at this. So, that's pretty cool. Some little segments there that kind of talk about some of the stuff that I've mentioned throughout the hike. Legend there if you need it for any reason. And just some general info. So, anyway, all right, I'm going to fill out this register. I'm going to walk across the highway, and I'm going to do my last section here. Well, heading back in. I'll let you pause that if you want to read it. It's really cool. Oh, I love live trees. I think this is going to be a beautiful tent site. I hope. Even if bears keep me awake, and I don't know what else. At least there won't be any trains here for sure. Good night. Good morning. Here we go. Nice little tent site last night. This was a beautiful area. So, I feel almost certain that I got waken up an hour ago by raindrops on my tent. But I think there were hardly any. I just heard like pat, 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 pat. It was like not very many. But there are clouds everywhere, which I didn't expect when I got up. There was only like a 5% chance of rain, but hey, I don't know. Anyway, hopefully it'll stay dry today. Wow, look how gorgeous that is out there. That little deer up there. Yeah, there's definitely rain going on. Well, we'll see what happens today. Wow. Beautiful morning. My gosh, I am seriously getting nowhere this morning. I can't even walk. I mean, I walk 100 feet and the sky changes into just amazing. Well, now that the sun is coming up a little, it's still raining off to the east. You can see kind of all the way down the range. But, and I'm actually hiking slightly towards that. I don't know how close I'll get, but above me, everything is cleared out. So, I don't know. I might walk into a little bit of rain later, but I'm not going to go very far east, so I doubt it, but you know how that goes. That probably means I just cemented it that I will. Well, this is where I'm going to get my next water. I didn't realize it was on the part of the National Wild and Scenic River System. So we'll see what we've been missing here. All right, here's the middle fork of the Feather River. Wow. It's quite a canyon. A beautiful bridge as well. Even though this section was not closed this year, you can see still some big burnout areas from years past. I'm going through one right now. Just devastated, but there's some green under there. It's coming back slowly but surely. Here's the deal. I just came out of the trail right over there, across that dirt road you can see. And here is the continuing trail behind me. And all the reports say, well, first of all, the trail's been getting worse and worse and worse. There have been sections that are really overgrown, and I've climbed over dozens of blowdowns, and some of the steep areas, the trail's just disintegrating into the hillside, so you're like, it's really sketchy. You're like hiking along this steep, long scree thing, trying not to slip and fall. And anyway, all the reports say you go here on the trail for not even a quarter mile, and it becomes no trail at all. And it just hasn't been kept up whatsoever, and you literally can't get through. Reports of people go bushwhacking through for an hour trying to get through, and then they just turn around and come back. So, as luck would have it, or maybe it's just not being kept up for this reason, I don't know. This dirt road follows the trail for several miles. So what everybody has been doing all season is just hiking the road. So that's what I'm going to do as soon as I cool down a little bit. It's like over 90 now, and I'm really hot, and this bee is around me. And so I'm going to chill for just a second, and then put up my sun umbrella and hike the road. And as luck would have it, my next water source is a spring that is just slightly off the trail. You just have to hike off the trail a couple hundred yards or something. Well, it's actually you're hiking to the road. So if I hike the road, I'm going to hike right to the spring that I need to get water from as well. So in 2.5 miles, I'll be able to get my water there. And then I'll get back on and keep trucking. Well, this road is definitely abandoned. I'm walking along here on the road, and I see a guy sitting up off in the rocks and trees. And it's always funny to me, there's two kinds of people out here. Those that'll, when you go by, they'll say like, hey, how you doing? So you don't get startled by them or whatever. And those people will just watch you. They'll just stare at you the whole way around and never say a word. He's definitely one of those. So I finally just said, how you doing? And he acted surprised that I had seen him. So he was hiding from me or something. Anyway, he was going the other direction, coming the other direction. And we both kind of compared notes, and he's like, this section's horrible up here. And I said, well, everything I've read says there's not even a trail ahead of you. So you don't want to do that, because you're going to go a little ways and then you're just not even going to be able to get through. And he said, oh, okay, well, thanks. So anyway, but I got another mile. Oh my gosh, the sun just went behind the clouds. Hallelujah. Another mile to my creek or spring or whatever that's up here. And then I'm gonna sit down and have some lunch. And then I'll still have another, I don't know what, maybe another half-mile road walk or something. And then I'll get back on the trail and enjoy the rest of my day, I hope. I've just done a pretty big steep climb. And I've got a little more to do, I think, once I get back on the trail here after lunch. But not a lot, you know, a couple miles maybe. And then I think that I have done like all the pretty hard stuff. You know, there was a super hard climb yesterday, and it's a pretty hard climb today that I've been doing for a long time. But I think after this, you know, I won't have any climbs that are much more than 1,000 feet here and there, and just up and down and all that. So hopefully the trail will be nice and not too rocky and overgrown and all that stuff, and I can enjoy these last couple days just tooling along in the woods. That might be a pipe dream. All right, so that's where I got my water at, just down there where the dirt road was. I had to work my way back up, and it says the creek's 550 feet away, but man, it's about 550 feet down too. Anyway, it's kind of late. I took a super long lunch. I really wiped myself out this morning. That climb in the heat did me in. But I don't have that many more miles to do, so I'm just gonna take it slow, drink lots of water, and I'm hoping this tent site I have my eyes on, up a few miles, quite a few miles, but still a few miles ahead, is gonna be good and free of all these dead trees I see. Well, it sure looks pretty over there. Unfortunately, the trail's over here. Woohoo! I think this will make a good spot for the night. See you tomorrow.